I forgot how fun it is to sand slide in Atlas Fallen. Like, I'm having a really good time checking out the big free update that improves on almost every aspect of the experience. I want to tell you everything they changed and added, but overall, if you're looking for a fun new open world game, I can totally recommend it. It's also on sale now for a limited time through the special link in the video description, so check it out, and thanks to Focus for sponsoring the video. So they basically redid the whole intro. It took me 20 minutes less compared to launch to get into the open world where the game really shines. And even with the reduced time, they tell a more interesting story and also do a better job at setting up the world that is ruled by the god Philos. And he's forcing all humans to mine a resource called essence, risking their lives because of the dangerous wraiths that roam the sand-filled lands. We start as an unnamed, and where in the previous tutorial we first had to run around camp to talk to random NPCs, we now get access to the gauntlet that gives us special abilities way faster. So also are doing combat way faster, and maybe you already noticed it, but they updated the conversations that first could look a bit awkward thanks to the lighting, but now look very nice. They also hired brand new voice actors for the main characters, as at the start of the game you choose to be a male or female, with Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16 doing a really great job voicing the male voice. The Gauntlet also has an updated voice, and it does wonders. Like, it really lifts the overall quality up by a lot. But it's especially the overall progression through the game that has seen some nice improvements, which for one, thanks to the brand new open world activity called Corruption Breaches. You will encounter this while randomly exploring the open world, and here you have to fight waves of monsters for rewards like new abilities and even cosmetics. And this activity works really well because the combat of Atlas Fallen is all about building up the blue momentum bar. You do this by dealing damage to enemies, so having waves of them lets you easily build it up, which enables more active and passive abilities, grows your weapons for added range and damage, but the downside is that it also increases the amount of damage you take. You can use all your momentum for a very powerful attack, but then you have to build it up again, or you can choose to stay with a high momentum at the risk of dying faster. Add to that modifiers that this new activity can include, like increasing one thing but decreasing another. There can be these meteors that drop down, or they can remove the damage from one of your weapons, so you are forced to think of a different strategy. New enemies add to that as well. There's even one exclusive to the New Game Plus mode, but I first want to talk about the most exciting new addition, and don't forget to leave a like on the video, by the way, to show your support. That would really help me out. Another thing they added are these mysterious rifts that teleport you to a brand new area where you can play Niall, the person trapped inside the gauntlet. If you like me already finished the main story, they can just return to every open world and look for these portals immediately, but if you start a new game, you will organically stumble upon them as you progress through the story, which basically adds a really fun new open world activity because it adds a fun twist to the familiar combat. As Niall, you can namely access these Wraith abilities only in this region, moves inspired by the different enemies that you can only do when sand sliding. And to activate these, you have to look for orbs that spawn on the battlefield, so you're constantly cruising around during a fight to pick these up, which I really liked. But also other brand new mechanics were introduced, like these roller coaster like roads that have you go through portals to nuke a shield from an enemy. There are finally humanoid bosses to fight. I won't spoil them all, but they were a ton of fun. And a new element called Affliction plays a big role here. Like, some enemies now have this purple glow, and when you get damaged by them, you decrease your max health. But the twist is that there are also new abilities that when activated cause you to deal affliction damage to yourself, so decrease your max health, but in exchange you do a very powerful attack. So if you want, you can go for an even more risk-reward playstyle on top of the momentum bar. It's pretty cool. They also added some brand new enemies to spice up the encounters. Like, that was also one of my critiques, that while the enemies they had some fun mechanics, there simply weren't enough of them at launch. Well, with this Rain of Sand update, they added a couple of new foes, like the Morpher, a creature that starts out as a flying insect-like enemy, but after breaking a body part will drop down and become a ground enemy instead. Like, that's another thing that sets Atlas Fallen's combat apart. Instead of enemies having a single health bar, every enemy has multiple body parts that you have to damage. So when you break a body part, you have to shift focus to the remaining body parts in order to take decreased creature out. And the new Transmuter actually becomes stronger and changes attack patterns when his body parts are broken. A really fun new enemy with a giant axe-like weapon that also functions as a weak spot. So while you can encounter these new enemies in that brand new region or in the new wave-based mode, there's also one that is exclusive to the brand new Game Plus mode. They are called Weavers, and these annoying small creatures buff other enemies with the brand new Affliction status effect, so you want to take them out as fast as possible, otherwise you will have a lot of enemies with the purple glow run around that can reduce your max health. So that's a cool new twist in New Game Plus, but there's way more. So you can start New Game Plus at any point from the menu with your current save after finishing the main story. You then skip the new tutorial and are immediately in the open world with all the unlocks from your previous playthrough, and immediately also get a brand new armor set. I think it looks pretty cool. It also like raises your max level, so it's totally worth using, and there are 3 new sets to earn in New Game Plus in total, so 2 other armor sets while playing it through the mode as well. They also added a brand new weapon upgrade system for the new resource Sacred Essence. So by doing the new activities, I also found it when looting things in the world, you get this powerful new resource that you can spend on pretty nice new passive bonuses. Like, they do not only increase the power of each weapon, but also change the combat up quite a lot. Like, for one, you get more damage when switching weapons, so are pushed to switch between the 2 weapons more often. Next to the new enemy I already discussed, they also updated the enemy population, meaning that early in the game you can now like already encounter way stronger monsters than in the first playthrough. So even though you are way more powerful, it will be harder to explore the world in New Game Plus as well. But also, if you want a more challenging playthrough, then you can go for Niall's Nightmare difficulty that is exclusive to New Game Plus and it's pretty tough. And New Game Plus also adds a ton of new opportunities to use the new abilities they added, like the Bestial Claws that you can activate 3 times, with the finisher being a huge smash. The Momentum Phoenix is very cool. You send out this Tail Whipper, which is also an enemy, for 10 seconds. It stays around, deals damage, and you generate momentum. And using your weapons to send out these projectiles that also generate momentum has also been really cool. Like, there are 25 new Essence Stones, so a combination of active and passive abilities. There are also brand new trophies and achievements for doing the new activities. You don't have to do them in New Game Plus. And again, it's all free or for a reduced price if you don't have Atlas Fallen yet. The sale is only for a limited time, so totally check the special link in the video description. I can really recommend the game. Thanks again to Focus for sponsoring. Subscribe for more videos looking at upcoming open world games. A like on this one would of course be awesome. And check out my previous video by clicking on the screen for if you haven't watched it yet. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.